I could unexpectedly video chat with my future self from 10 years later. Excitedly, I asked who I'd end up with. After a brief silence, the answer came, my archenemy. I burst out laughing, amazed that even a decade-older version of me remained this hilarious. Before my laughter faded, someone barged into the screen. Honey, who are you talking to? Seeing Ivy's stunningly radiant face, I turned to stone. The scene turned surreal as present-day me locked eyes with Ivy. We mirrored each other's shock. There she stood in a silk camisole nightgown, casually leaning against Jason's shoulder. After nearly a minute of stunned silence, I let out a shrill scream. Ivy arched an eyebrow, looking more intrigued than apologetic. She pressed a bold kiss on my cheek and shot me a defiant smirk. My world collapsed. Noticing my meltdown, future me, Jason, hurriedly intervened, launching into a speech about Ivy's virtues to justify their marriage. Horrifying. Had my future self been possessed? I couldn't endure this madness any longer and cut him off. You've betrayed everything I stand for. You know how much I can't stand her right now. I finally escaped her after college entrance exams. And you're telling me we end up married? This is like saying I'll be institutionalized in a decade. Apparently too blissful to recall our current animosity. Jason awkwardly chuckled when reminded that present-day Ivy and I constantly clashed, rolling our eyes at each other's mere presence. Ivy lingered nearby, her lips curling into that infuriating smirk I knew too well. You'll be disappointed, she purred with evident satisfaction. We attend the same university. My molars ground together at this fresh blow. A decade hadn't softened her talent for provoking me. I glared, but her smirk only widened. Jason gently pushed Ivy aside and attempted consolation. Though we end up together, you'll have other romantic encounters first. Now this caught my attention. Like, his face lit up. Remember that gorgeous orientation assistant? Cheer captain. Killer figure? You two dated freshman year. We dove into nostalgic chatter about first loves, completely forgetting the woman standing behind him, his current wife. My future spouse. Only when I noticed Ivy's dangerously calm expression did realization strike. I weakly gestured at Jason. Maybe check behind you. He turned to face Ivy's icy glare. Smile freezing mid-sentence. Panicked backpedaling followed. She wasn't that great anyway. Gave you the cold shoulder later, nothing like your future wife. Watching him fumble, I cringed at how transparent my own lies would become. Ivy snorted coldly, snatching the phone. We're done here. She told me. Your future self and I need to settle accounts. She hung up the video call. In the last second before disconnecting, I distinctly saw her walk over and sit on my lap, staring at the blackened screen. Unwelcome suspicions and mental images flooded my mind uncontrollably. I was going insane, thanks to my future self from 10 years later. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, Ivy filled my thoughts. To make matters worse, there was a class reunion the next day, and the ultimate nightmare, Ivy would be there too. After steeling myself, I pushed open the KTV lounge door to hear splitting off-key singing. The music died abruptly when I entered. Everyone instinctively turned to look at Ivy upon seeing me. Our notorious rivalry had practically made us a package deal. The room buzzed with reactions, spectators relishing the drama, others stifling giggles, and even some shipping us. Normally I'd ignore them, my hatred for Ivy being absolute. But last night changed everything when I discovered my archenemy had become my wife. That revelation still felt surreal. The only available seat was beside Ivy. Resigned, I slumped down next to her. She glanced over, her brow furrowing imperceptibly at my dark circles. Those eye bags, she teased. Couldn't sleep last night, dreaming of me. In the past, I'd have snapped back with disgust. Tragically, she'd hit the bullseye this time. My cheeks burned as I muttered psycho and grabbed an iced cola to cool down. Noticing my unease, Ivy dropped her playful demeanor. Her searching gaze made my skin prickle until classmates dragged her up to sing. The moment she stood, relief washed over me, short-lived when 2 texts lit up my phone. From future you, based on timing. You're at the KTV meetup. Spoiler, that song she's singing? It's for you. My pulse skyrocketed. The phone seared my palm. I looked up instinctively, locking eyes with Ivy across the room as the screen displayed the song title, Sunny Day. Cheers erupted around us. She held my gaze until the first notes played. Against my will, I admitted she sang beautifully. The lounge hushed except for her voice. Maybe those texts heightened my awareness. But every glance she threw my way felt intentional. Under the dim lights, her eyes shimmered with unreadable emotion. The final note faded to thunderous applause. So, a classmate heckled. Was this performance for someone special here? The room leaned in breathlessly. She neither denied nor admitted it, simply smiling in response. Ivy sat back beside me, visibly tense. Her clenched hands trembled slightly, as if psyching herself up. Just as I grew curious, my phone buzzed again, another message from my future self 10 years ahead. After singing Sunny Day, Ivy thought you'd finally notice her crush. But you showed zero reaction. She spent all night trying to hint at it, yet couldn't muster the courage. If you'd been observant, you'd have seen her shaking with nerves. I casually glanced at Ivy. Sure enough, her hands quivered faintly. Smirking, I leaned closer and teased in a playful whisper. Ivy, why are you trembling? Her head snapped up, instinctively scooting away until she caught the mischief in my eyes. A fleeting disappointment crossed her face before she retorted with forced nonchalance. Your eyesight's terrible. Who shivers from singing? Her trademarked tsundere act used to irritate me, but now I found it oddly endearing. Noticing her crimson-tipped ears, I seized the opportunity. Anyone would think you're secretly into me, I said, half joking. I cataloged every micro-reaction: her eyelid twitch, dilated pupils, scarlet ears, trembling fingertips. Absurd. She snapped, turning away sharply. Regaining composure, she added stiffly, you're imagining things. Biting back laughter, I immediately texted my future self, directly asked if she likes me. Update. The instant reply screamed excitement. Seriously? What did she say? I rolled my eyes. Even my future self was shipping this too hard. She denied it angrily. I responded. An eye roll emoji shot back. Typical me. The voice message complained when I accidentally hit speakerphone. My future self's voice echoed through the karaoke room. Was I really this insufferable? Every head swiveled our way. Ivy stared daggers as I fumbled to silence my phone, only to trigger another message. No wonder I stayed single with that attitude. All that yearning disguised as indifference. Pathetic. Mortified, I finally powered off the device. Across from me, Ivy remained flushed, fidgeting awkwardly with her microphone. My future self wasn't wrong. Her every gesture screamed unspoken affection. Yet that stubborn pride kept building walls even now. Under the curious gazes of the crowd, I forced myself to explain. My sister mentioned a friend who'd stubbornly nurtured a secret crush for a decade during her youth. Too prideful to confess. This wasn't subtle hinting anymore. It was practically a spotlight. Right on cue, Ivy abruptly turned her head away, guilt written all over her face. The group quickly moved past this interlude as music blared and microphone wars resumed. Everyone, that is, except Ivy. She sat there contemplative until suddenly, 30 minutes later, she blurted out, "What happened next?" I blinked at her. Next? Did your sister's friend ever end up with her crush? Of course not. I leaned back, feigning nonchalance. That friend was as stubborn as you. Spent her whole time picking fights with the guy instead of showing affection. You think anyone would fall for that? The dig was intentional, even knowing we'd eventually marry. Present day, Ivy still grated on my nerves. Thoroughly. Her face fell at my words. Sighing theatrically, I added, people should really be straightforward about their feelings. Miss your chance. And it's gone forever. Ivy pressed her lips into a thin line before meeting my eyes abruptly. I like you. The karaoke booth's deafening music must have damaged my hearing. My heart stuttered as her words hung in the air. This was new, Ivy. Direct? The tables turned violently, leaving me scrambling for composure. Just as I opened my mouth, her tense expression melted into mischief. Wasn't that hard to say? Your sister's friend really sucked at this. Her voice dripped with mock disdain, eyes carefully avoiding mine. Realization struck. She'd packaged truth as jest. Infuriated yet amused, I fired off a text to my future self. Can you divorce Ivy right now? 10 question marks exploded in reply. What did she do this time? The familiar snark confirmed it was future Ivy hijacking her husband's phone again. Stop meddling and give him back his device. Miss our sparring sessions? She shot back. I groaned, trapped between present Ivy's physical presence and future Ivy's digital bombardment. This existence grew more insufferable by the minute. Post-dinner, Alex's call interrupted my walk home from KTV. The gossip monger wasted no time. Heard Ivy watched you sing Sunny Day all night? Before I could deny, a photo appeared. Ivy and I caught mid-glance. The screen behind us frozen on lyrics about enduring love. One glance. I protested. Your friends should become paparazzi. Taking my silence as confirmation. Alex crowed. I'll bet my entire trust fund that Ivy's totally into you. Thanks for the invite. I can't take that gamble. The stakes are too high. I'd just showered and climbed into bed when my future self from 10 years later sent me a screenshot of a social media account. Ivy had hidden this too well for an entire decade. I'd never noticed she'd been updating the secret crush diary. Bolting upright, I immediately switched to my alt account to search the ID. The latest post was from 10 minutes ago. Spent a fortune buying this photo classmates sneaked. Doesn't this count as our first couple picture? The pixelated image was unmistakably the one Alex had sent me earlier. Shockingly, her account boasted hundreds of thousands of followers. The comments section overflowed with hundreds of replies, fans affectionately dubbing her crush queen. The latest post comments followed their usual pattern. New masterpiece from crush queen. Whoa. She actually sang Sunny Day right in front of Jason? That's basically a confession. Photos too blurry, how do we know that's really Jason? Just a song. But Crush Queen's already planning her wedding. My name's Jason. Unless I'm mistaken, Jason here refers to me. Ivy seemed accustomed to ignoring the teasing, only replying to one comment wishing us eternal love. Even knowing our complicated future relationship, this well-wishing felt vicious. Who wants eternity with their sworn rival? Scrolling through older posts revealed why she'd earned the Crush Queen title. Every entry documented moments between us, fleeting eye contact, shared expressions, conversations both trivial and significant. My chest tightened with unexpected emotion when the video call alert interrupted. My future self appeared with red-rimmed eyes, visibly moved. Before I could speak, the older Ivy materialized, slipping into his embrace with practiced ease, arms encircling his waist. Get a room, you two. There's a minor present. I protested. The future Ivy frowned. You read all that and feel nothing? Of course not. I lied, stubbornly looking away. Her lips curved knowingly. Jason, after all her bullying, don't you want payback? Got some self-loathing going on. I retorted. Absolutely. Her pride made us waste years. That's hatred-worthy. Her flawless logic silenced me. Follow my plan. You'll have her wrapped around your finger. Her scheme? Impersonate her future self to DM the current Ivy. Turns out we're our own worst enemies. Ivy's idea was so devious I couldn't believe it. To make me trust her, she even sent over a dozen selfies and videos. Staring at my screen flooded with her photos. My expression gradually twisted. Not wanting to seem like a scammer, I decided to grab her attention first. After some thought, I texted, "You like Jason." I waited all night, but Ivy seemed to have vanished. It wasn't until the next morning when I checked my phone that I found 17 messages she'd sent at 4 a.m. Who are you? Who told you that? I don't like Jason. Hello? Are you there? I said I don't like him. Okay, fine. Maybe a little. Don't tell him. Was I that obvious last night? I knew I shouldn't have sung that breakup song. So who the hell are you? Seeing this wall of text, I finally seized my chance. My lips curled uncontrollably as I typed, "I'm you from 10 years later." This time Ivy replied instantly, "Are you kidding me?" I poured my heart out, "And you're treating me like an idiot?" I immediately sent her a future selfie of Ivy. She still doubted me, claiming it was AI generated. Now she suddenly becomes smart. Only after I bombarded her with photos from different angles did she finally believe me. After prolonged hesitation, Ivy couldn't resist asking, "So, what happens between me and Jason?" No way I'd let her know her crush actually works out. I dodged the question, "He's married." "You're married too." Ivy panicked and sent a voice message. Before I could brace myself, her wailing assaulted my ears. "Could you stop sending voice notes? You're making my phone sound awful." Instead of stopping, she kept spamming voice messages. "Are you insane? Aren't we the same person? First you hate everything. Now you hate me? You're useless. 10 years and still can't get Jason? What's the point of you?" Years of rivalry with Ivy conditioned me. Hearing her insults, even directed at ourselves, I instantly fired back. "Look who's talking. The queen of tsundere who never confesses. Who were you singing to? Would it kill you to say I like you? If you hadn't messed up the foundation, maybe I could have succeeded." Ivy remained defiant. "If the foundation's weak, work harder. You knew your younger self's flaws, but never improved? No wonder Jason doesn't like you or me. Wait, who's his wife? Is she prettier than us?" Her voice rose sharply, anger turning inward. I showed no mercy. Who cares if she's prettier? At least Jason loves her. The blow must have been too harsh. Ivy didn't reply for so long I started regretting my words. Just as I considered apologizing, a new message popped up. "So is he happy now?" I stared at the blinking cursor, momentarily speechless. From the moment I learned I would marry Ivy Clark in the future until now, this revelation hit me hardest. It finally let me glimpse the cautious affection Ivy had been harboring. When I didn't respond, she continued rambling. "If he's truly happy now, I can forgive you for not ending up together. After all, neither of us could change the fact that he never liked me. No matter how many years passed, we'd known each other since childhood, but became adversaries after middle school. For years, I'd perceived Ivy as carefree and thick-skinned. Never had I imagined her capable of such vulnerability. Something unfamiliar began sprouting in my chest. Seeing her retreat, I sharply changed tactics. "What's that supposed to mean? I didn't contact you to play matchmaker for some tragic second lead. I'm here to help you fight for Jason. You're going after him this time." My words reignited Ivy's spirit. She flooded our chat with a dozen fiery memes, passionate, yet directionless enthusiasm. Somehow, I'd unwittingly become Ivy's love coach for pursuing myself. By the time I realized this absurdity, the damage was done. When I shared the chat logs with my future self, he responded with merciless mockery. The decade-older Ivy protested, "That brat got all the luck." Back in my day, who had their crush personally guide their courtship? This might as well be dating with extra steps. Guess I'm the only one who suffered through unrequited love. Humans truly can't empathize with their past selves. Thrilled by my assistance, Ivy immediately tweeted, "Future me's joining the mission to win Jason. Victory feels inevitable this time." The replies roasted her mercilessly. "Delusional much? I'd sooner believe I'm Queen Elizabeth than your time travel nonsense. Who's this Jason guy? Must be God tier to make the OP act this deranged. Shame on whoever's tricking this lovesick fool with cheap lies. Amidst the vitriol, one comment stood out. Am I the only one wondering how Secret Crush Queen ended up archenemies with her beloved Jason despite liking him? The question haunted us both. Ivy's defeated voice crackled through my speakers. Shouldn't you already know? When I first realized these feelings for Jason, I panicked and labeled it hatred. Our constant bickering slowly revealed the truth too late to fix. Her regret vibrated in my eardrums as my heartbeat spiraled. Flashes of Ivy's social media memories flooded my mind, every interaction preserved with photographic clarity. The epiphany struck like lightning. We'd made identical mistakes. When I confessed this terrifying realization to my future self, his smile glowed with paternal pride. You're still a bit better than me. It took me nearly a decade to realize my feelings, but you figured it out in just a month. 10 years later, Ivy was clearly annoyed. What's that supposed to mean? You two had a mutual crush? Did that girl Ivy borrow my luck? So the younger one gets the sweetness while the older one suffers? She rambled on, growing increasingly agitated until the 30-year-old me had to hang up and rush to comfort her. They're too busy being lovey-dovey to care about our misery, she huffed. When Alex returned from his trip and brought up Ivy, I swore I only paused for a second at her name. Nothing out of the ordinary. But Alex immediately sensed something. After relentless prodding, I confessed I might like Ivy. He wasn't surprised. Obviously, anyone with eyes can see you're both into each other. No offense, but I've never seen anyone obsess over someone they hate. Every 10th word out of your mouth is Ivy. I'm sick of hearing it. His words made me doubt myself. Was it that obvious? Alex glanced at me. Compared to Ivy, you're subtle. Her eyes practically glued to you. Rumor has it she glanced at you dozens of times during that 3-minute Sunny Day performance. Did she think no one noticed? He grew more animated. Exasperated. Never thought you'd figure it out yourself. I expected to wait a decade for your wedding invite. He wasn't wrong, except for one twist. As Alex launched into another rant, my video call ringtone blared. He grabbed my phone and accidentally answered. The screen lit up, and Alex froze before whirling on me. Betrayed. Jason, you traitor. You're dating Ivy and didn't tell me? I frowned. We're not together. Liar. She's in pajamas on your video call. He thrust the screen toward me, only to freeze again. Someone identical to me appeared beside Ivy. After a full minute of stunned silence, Alex whispered, I think I'm seeing ghosts. I finally recognized the callers, my 30-year-old self and Ivy, both cackling on screen. It took Alex half an hour to accept that I could communicate with my future self. He stared at the screen, suddenly eager. Can you two kiss right now? For science? I lunged to cover his mouth. Even the usually unflappable 30-year-olds blushed at his bluntness. After I death glared him into submission, Alex switched gears, badgering us about how Ivy and I got together. Hearing we'd wasted 10 years. He shot Ivy a withering look. All style, no substance. Huh. 10 years. A pig could have evolved wings in that time. What took you so long? 10 years later. Ivy heard this and twitched the corner of her mouth slightly. I said enough already. You've repeated this 800 times since Jason and I got married. How come you haven't changed a bit all these years? She successfully ignited Alex's anger. What's with this attitude? Believe it or not, I'll stop you from confessing right now. Then hurry up and go. Better start running. I'd love that. Watching Ivy's indifferent expression, Alex finally understood. Some people even get jealous of their past selves from 10 years ago. Sorry, but I won't let you have your way. I'll immediately set those two up together to piss you off. The two of them bickered back and forth until the argument grew heated. Now I've truly witnessed what sworn enemies look like. The situation briefly spiraled out of control. I swiftly closed the video call, finally stopping the showdown. to set Ivy and me up. Alex directly organized a gathering. Ivy seemed quite pleased about this, confidently demaying me. She vowed to showcase her skills. Yet when she saw me, she couldn't even lift her head, frantically messaging her future self for help. Seeing her like this, I deliberately replied, "Go all in. Turn your bicycle into a motorcycle. Why not confess today?" Ivy's eyes widened. "Today? Are you joking? You're not trying to drag me down just because things didn't work out with Jason, are you? This girl could be surprisingly sharp sometimes." To Alex, watching Ivy and me furiously texting looked like two phone addicts spotting their crushes, both choosing to become ostriches burying their heads in sand. This drove him crazy, so he immediately dragged Ivy and me into playing games. He somehow produced 2 lie detectors and placed them on the table, calling us out. He demanded Ivy and I test them first. Everyone's eyes instantly lit up with anticipation. Forced into the spotlight, Ivy and I reluctantly placed our hands on the devices. A glint of mischief flashed in Alex's eyes. I had a bad feeling. Sure enough, his voice sounded in my ear the next second. "You've always known we have a shipping group for you and Ivy, right?" The crowd went wild. Everyone exchanged knowing smiles except Ivy, who looked utterly confused. I gritted my teeth and answered yes. The lie detector remained dark. Alex wasn't done with me yet. "You joined that group with a burner account yourself, didn't you?" The room erupted with hollering. Alex stared me down until my palms grew sweaty. Finally, I gave up and nodded in admission. This really isn't my fault. Blame them for being terrible at hiding things. Curiosity's only human. Alex successfully hyped up the crowd with 2 questions, getting satisfactory answers. He finally turned to Ivy. Ivy blinked nervously, resembling a lamb led to slaughter. Alex looked at her and asked the first question. "You've always disliked Jason to get his attention, haven't you?" Ivy instinctively glanced at me, seemingly unprepared for Alex's bluntness. After much deliberation, Ivy forced out a yes through gritted teeth. The lie detector remained silent. Students watching the drama all started squealing and hopping in place like excited squirrels. The corner of Alex's lips curled upward with smug confidence as he posed the soul-crushing question. "You like Jason, don't you?" The entire Balshang held its breath. For a moment, the only sound I could hear was Ivy's increasingly labored breathing. Her eyes instinctively sought mine. When our gazes locked, Ivy seemed to gather every ounce of courage she possessed. Though her voice trembled, her stare burned with determination. "Yes, I like him." The lie detector immediately blared its alarm. Ivy flinched as the subtle electric current stung her wrist. Yet she urgently rose to explain. "This thing's broken. I like you, Jason. I really do." Her words tumbled out in panicked repetition. "Jason, I truly like you." Alex was visibly struggling to contain his laughter, my suspicion growing. I glanced down to see him clutching the lie detector's remote control. When I showed no reaction, Ivy's eyes began glistening with unshed tears. In her desperation, she suddenly pulled out her phone. "It's true. I've liked you for ages. My social media account has hundreds of secret diary entries about you." The room erupted as everyone grabbed their phones to search for Ivy's ID. Oblivious to the commotion, Ivy kept her tear-filled eyes locked on me. Unable to bear her distress any longer, I finally smiled. "I know. I found that account months ago. Read every single post." Rather than seeking reciprocation, Ivy straightened like someone preparing for battle. "I know you can't stand me, but I still want to try. This might sound crazy, but I met someone claiming to be my future self. She said in 10 years, we'll both be married to other people." Her voice cracked. Even knowing that, I couldn't accept it. As her tears splashed against the floor tiles, Alex suddenly shoved me forward. With trembling hands, I showed Ivy the wedding photo from my phone, our future selves smiling in bridal attire. It's us who get married. Ivy, I like you too. Like a drowning woman grasping driftwood. Ivy looked up with tear-drenched eyes. Alex chose that moment to unleash 2 confetti cannons, freezing time in a kaleidoscope of swirling colors. When we later discussed everything, Ivy met her future self. Their first encounter sparked nuclear-level bickering. The older Ivy scoffed. Needing this much help to confess? Pathetic. Coming from someone who took 10 years? Present day, Ivy shot back. Hands on hips. Who's the real coward here? The 2 identical glares they directed at me suggested this rivalry would transcend timelines. How hilarious. If I hadn't shown up, you probably wouldn't have gotten together even in 10 years. Don't blame others for your own incompetence. Is it so hard to admit someone else is better? 10 years later, Ivy's competitive streak exploded. She directly pulled out 2 marriage certificates and shoved them at the camera. We're legally married. Understand? Do you know what legal means? Though envious. Present day, Ivy remained sharp-tongued. They look brand new, just issued recently. If it were me, I'd already be celebrating my 5th anniversary by now. Wedding anniversary? 10 years later, Ivy snorted. I recall your semester's about to start. Doesn't someone still have that college sweetheart waiting around? What's wrong with you? The other shot back, clearly provoked and deflecting. Present day, Ivy immediately turned to me with wounded eyes. I swiftly tossed the hot potato away. Don't look at me. That senior crush wasn't my relationship. Wow. Real classy. Just gonna dump this mess on me. 10 years later, me acted betrayed. Can you blame me? Your wife had to run her mouth. Your girlfriend's no saint either. After bickering, we finally noticed the absurdity. Both future versions had effortlessly shifted blame onto us. We gave them aggrieved looks as they nestled against our shoulders. 10 years later, Ivy gazed at her younger self and said, "Love him well." Present day, Ivy replied, "You too." That was the first and last time the 4 of us met. After that day, they vanished as if they'd never existed. But I know, in every timeline, whether 10 years past or 10 years ahead, we're loving each other fiercely.